Hey guys, Joe here, and welcome to this third delivery of the Daily Sketch series. This was actually supposed to be number 4, but I'm going to explain you why this is actually number 3 now. The biggest issue that I had with the previous, I had 2 drawings. This one that you're watching is the one that made a cut, and then the other one was the one that I was screwing up majorly. And yeah, that day everything just seemed to be going wrong. I'll start in the beginning. So that day I had a lot of stuff to do, and so I had a very tight schedule in the sense that I couldn't spend more time doing any of the activities that I usually do during the mornings. I like to sketch always when I wake up because I just feel like it takes the responsibility of things, or I mean, it's easier for me to just be done with sketching and then not have to worry about it throughout the day because I usually record it for YouTube and stuff. So it's easier for me if I'm able to just wake up, record it, and then I have the rest of the day free. If I can edit, that's not such a big deal because I can edit at night or stuff like that. But if I have to record, then it's different because the lighting changes, and yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into recording a video and also like recording the voiceover and stuff like that. So yeah, I try to do it in the mornings. And so that day I was actually going to meet with a friend at about 12 or 1 p.m. more or less. And so I was trying my hardest to just get everything done that I had to do during the morning, and then the sketching time came, and so I was just with the mentality of just going in and trying to do everything perfectly, not messing up a lot so that I could finish faster. But turns out that nothing came out as planned. I had trouble with my sketch since the beginning, so I usually look for reference photos on Instagram, on Pinterest. In case that you didn't know, Pinterest is actually a great place for you to look for reference pictures because it has a lot of content in it. It's more curated, or well, not curated, but you have a lot of more organic stuff than on Google Images because you can actually look for photos that people take of themselves instead of just stock photographs, which I always find better than just having to go through very common looking faces, but also not very high fashion looking faces, like just your average attractive person, but not in the sense that, you know how fashion models are a little bit different in the beauty wise, they're a little bit different than people who act on commercials and stuff like that, because models have to have very specific features like to stand out from a crowd. And even if you're attractive, that doesn't mean that you're going to stand out, because it could be like a next door kind of beauty. But yeah, that's a different story. So yeah, I usually always go to Pinterest and find my reference photos in there, but I had a very hard time finding the right picture that day, and I kind of regretted not looking for it at night, like the day before, because that could have saved me a lot of time. And I spent about 30 minutes and I ended up choosing a picture that I didn't even really like that much and didn't really have a very good kind of lighting. Because, you know, as I previously said in my other videos, lighting is very essential when you're trying to actually reference from a photo, because that can help you get a lot of volume on the face, or it can also make it look very flat. So yeah, if you find the right picture, it's just going to save you a lot of issues in the sense of that you don't have to guess where the shadows are or the volumes are. Like, you can clearly see them, as with my previous sketch. And the next mistake was, I just picked a random picture and started drawing. And the next mistake was that I've been trying this method called the Riley method. I don't know if you know about it, but it's basically just a very step-by-step way of drawing portraits or heads or human figures in general. You start with a circle and then you take half of it, and then a little bit lower than that half is where the eyebrows are going to start, I believe, and then you split those 2 sections that you got from splitting the circle in half, and then that's where you get the eyes and the nose and mouth and everything else, and the hairline and all of that good stuff. But yeah, the method is actually very complex, I believe, or to me it's very weird. I don't know how people actually measure a photograph. I have a very much easier time just looking at the reference photo and trying to replicate what I see, and referencing from the lip to the mouth to the nose, and then the nose to the corner of the eye and stuff like that. I've come up with my own method of drawing heads. So when I tried this new method, I actually really liked it in the sense that it helped me think about portraits in more of a shape manner rather than just lines, which is something that I've been trying to work with my portraits ever since I started, because I don't know, I just think it looks a little bit more professional when you actually focus on shapes rather than on lines. And yeah, I was trying to do that, and the portrait just, I couldn't get the proportions right. Like, nothing was coming out the way that I wanted it to. I started off with a nose that was too small for the eyes, and then the eyes were too small for the mouth, and then the mouth came out huge, and the face just was looking all wonky, and I just couldn't do it. And it actually had a few nice shadows on the face, because I've been trying to draw shadows instead of actual facial features. Like, for example, if a nose is shaded from the half to the right, I would try to draw that piece of shading instead of the whole nose. I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but it's also a very popular way of drawing, in which you focus on shapes rather than on features and specific things like that. But yeah, I couldn't just get anything right, and then I had to erase everything because it was looking just awful. And so I started again the whole sketching process, but I was already under a lot of pressure because I thought I wasn't going to be on time to meet my friend. And even though it wasn't a big deal if I was late there, I didn't want to get late, so because I had already planned everything, and I actually woke up early, and there is nothing I hate more than waking up super early. So yeah, that was the extra pressure that I had on my shoulders. And yeah, I kept on trying to make things work, but they weren't working out. And then I just, as I said, I erased it all and then tried again. But then in the middle of the sketch, my cell phone came up with this notification that I had run out of space. And like, I was really shook because my phone has 128 gigabytes of storage. So it was pretty weird for me to see. Like, I've never ran out of space before from a cell phone. On a cell phone, and yeah, it was really weird actually looking at it, and that was just the cherry on top. And when I saw that, I was just like, you know what, screw this, nothing is cooperating, so I'm just gonna leave this here and I'm not gonna worry about it anymore. So yeah, that's what I would recommend if you're having a bad art day or a bad day in general. Just stop doing whatever it is that is stressing you. If you can, like if it's work, then obviously you can't just drop it out and wait for someone else to do it. But if it's just like, if it's not super important, then take a break. And even if it's just like a 30-minute break, you're going to appreciate it, because if you keep trying to work it and it's not cooperating, and if you're trying to, like, you're going to end up very stressed, and you're not going to allow yourself to stop making mistakes. And yeah, that's what happened with me. I just was like, you know, I'm going to be late now, so might as well just leave this in here and not do anything else. And luckily for my Instagram, I had already something else drawn that I did the night before, so I wasn't like out of content to upload, which was nice actually. And yeah, just leave it there and waited a whole day, and then the next day I came and tried this new drawing, and while I'm not 100% convinced with it, I am much more happy with how this one came out. And yeah, I tried my best not to like focus on the mistakes that I had done previously. I tried to take a different approach in the sketching process, and just more like I would do it usually. And yeah, I just think it came out decent enough that I could upload it here. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you because I know how stressful it can be to think that you are the only one making those mistakes or having bad art days. But yeah, I just want to share that everybody gets those and that it's okay, and that they are not permanent. Like, they're going to pass and they're going to go away eventually. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments if you ever experienced this kind of art situation. And yeah, thank you for watching.